I want to start before any of headlines, before Mensa, before Howard. Just you as a little kid on a film set for the first time. You made your first on-screen appearance at 4 year olds. What the earliest memory you actually have?
Earliest memory, like in like on a set or like doing acting or just any memory?
Acting.
Acting. Um, okay. When I was 3, my parents put me in like children's theater, like classes. You're doing Peter Pan. And my very earliest memory is when I got the script, going home and having to highlight all my lines. And I remember going through and trying to highlight everything and getting very frustrated because like the highlight would bleed through the page to like the next page. And I kept like, and I wanted to have it be perfect because I like thought it was very important to do a good job at everything. And so I was like so careful with the highlighter. Yeah, and just being so excited to have a script, yeah, and to be learning lines.
You voiced character in Frozen and Despicable Me too. At that time, did anyone, you, your parents, anyone have any idea those movies were about to become one of the biggest animated film ever made?
I mean, Despicable Me 2, I think more so because the first movie had been so big and I loved the first movie. And so that was super excited. But Frozen, nobody knew. It was just like a random, I don't think it was even called Frozen when I first auditioned for it. It was like Disney Snow Queen movie. And so when that came out, seeing how huge that was and like having been in it, like that was hard to process. That was a huge disconnect.
So, what was it like watching the world fall in with someone you were a part of the movies?
I think like that's one of the things to me that's been most special about acting is getting to be like this really small part of something that's touched so many people. And like again, I had like a tiny part in that movie. Like it's not even like having a oh like there she is because it's voiceover, so you can't even see me. I'm just like a girl calling out in the crowd. Um, but like especially seeing meeting like little kids and like having them like wear Frozen backpacks or like say that they love Frozen and getting to see that it's still so important to people is like I don't know, it's hard to even think about. It's honestly surreal.
Here's what I really want to know. What is the one thing about being a child actor that people on the outside think is glamorous, but for the inside was actually really hard?
I think there's kind of this outside perception that the things that child acting rewards is like just being really cute and like being really bubbly and just having a lot of energy, and that's all true. But I think something that people don't really think about is what it means to have to learn to be professional when you're really young. I think as a kid, most kids are able to, if you're like upset or you're in a bad mood or you're tired, you go like sit down and rest for a while. Or, if you want to have fun, you go out and play. And like obviously you have to sit still in school and stuff like that. But there's a certain kind of sense of like um, people are a little more relaxed about how you behave. But when you're a child actor, there's really an expectation that you're going to be professional, that you're going to be like on all the time, that, there's no like, no, I'm tired or I'm bored. Like whatever it is that you have to do, you just have a good attitude and you're excited to be there. And so I think even though that taught me some really valuable lessons, it's also, I remember it being very difficult for me, especially when I was really young, to understand, like, I'd be like, but I'm hot. Like, why can't I say I'm hot? Or why can't I change? And I'm like, no, you gotta stand there and look happy. Or I had a commercial I did in a swimming pool. The swimming pool's freezing. It's like, no, you gotta look like you're having fun.
When you are doing Child Genius, you are the youngest child and you joined Mensa at 5 years, right?
I joined Mensa, yeah, that sounds right, like 4 or 5.
When did you
Three?
first realize you were differently than other kids of your age?
Not when I was doing it. Certainly not while I was on Child Genius. I think um I I had in some ways, a very normal childhood, even though I was an actor, because A, I knew a lot of other kids who are actors, so I didn't think that was weird. And then I also didn't go to like a gifted school ever. I wasn't in a gifted program. I just went to a like a normal school, and so I didn't really think of myself as different. I think by like probably middle school when I was 12 or 13, honestly, it was more that kids just were mean at that point. And it suddenly became very uncool to like school. And so in my mind, I wasn't, walking around thinking like, oh, I'm so smart. I was just walking around thinking like, I love to read and I love school and I get excited about my classes. And that was suddenly very uncool. And something people were like, ew, that's weird or whatever. So I think that was the first time I was like, I ever felt different